his last life had been a place where people were saying goodbye.
This was really interesting for me because I'd known this place as a mortuary. The last time my friends and family have gone through this place on their way to heaven or hell, wherever they go.
Buildings can have more than one life. It felt like a place where, much like a church, that you could imagine reflection and a lot of history going on. This building was built in 1920, but the actual mortuary business began in 1886. The Greeley Creative District has been in place, or was formed in 2012. And ever since we began, we were interested in finding a physical place that we could situate ourselves. But for the last decade or better, we've been operating virtually. And it so happened that we were contacted by the Weld Community Foundation, who said they had a community arts patron who was interested in doing something for local artists, and was interested in the fact they knew that we were very interested in developing a physical location. So the Weld Community Foundation introduced us to Roy Wardell, who is the local Angus farmer out of Platteville.
I didn't grow up with any kind of art. I grew up on the ranch east of Platteville, which I now own. It was started by my grandparents. So we've been raising Angus cattle now for over 80 years. I went to graduate school in Wisconsin, at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, and that began to be introduced more to culture. And as soon as I started seeing art and going to art shows, I started to really enjoy it. And so it's just kind of a gradual process of coming to love the arts and appreciate artists, because I think that artists are such an important part of the community, but unless they're really lucky, they never make much money. So I had some resources that I was very fortunate to have of what I could maybe do in an art way for Greeley. And so I decided to start looking at possible buildings.
So we began looking at buildings that might be available, and we looked at several east of the tracks. We looked at a number of them downtown. And I just happened to know the folks who had purchased this building. So we took a look. It was possible to imagine this big of a space could easily be converted into some kind of a public use. It is a big building. It's over 14,000 square feet. It's got 3 floors. So it's a substantial presence on this area. Vacant buildings are not good for anybody, whether they're new or old. But we're exactly halfway between the downtown and the University of Northern Colorado. And that, I think, will provide momentum for additional redevelopment. And I think also helping students discover the laboratory of the community that they live in.
UNC is a big part of Greeley, the university. And it has a really good art program. And so from the very beginning, I've said, I really want UNC and the city of Greeley to work together on this. In terms of the physical space, this is probably only about a third of this building. The part beside here, there's the 2 stories, but that's really the creative part with some wonderful interior architecture.
All of those are a big part of, I think, what we celebrate in the creative industries is architecture and design and sense of place and transformation and imagination and the use of arts to be integrated in every part of our world.
And for people like myself that love Greeley, to invest in this as an important part of the Greeley culture, the soft part of the Greeley culture that every town needs. The community needs the soft side of the arts, and to support the artists in this town. And I think Greeley has a nice art community, and that's what I've tried to support.
In 5 years, we hope that we are engaged in this entire space. We hope that every single piece of the building is being used by artists and community members.
It makes for a much more healthy, friendly, involved community with art.
The arts to touch everything we do, and so we would love to have everyone feel home here.
It's been a real delight to feel like a part of that and to see this happen. It will be a very, very special art center. It already is. This is really beautiful.